It has been a really long wait for the Porsche Taycan to come to India, partly due to the pandemic, but finally the car is here. And guess what? While this is Porsche's first fully electric car, this is the first ever Porsche review on Turbocharged. So what a way to begin, because what we have with us here is just the Taycan, no prefix or suffixes, and all the power is sent straight to the rear wheels. No prizes for guessing that despite this being a four-door car, the design inspiration for the Taycan is the iconic 911. And the resemblance is particularly striking from the rear three-quarter thanks to this swooping roofline. We have all adored the 911 for its sensuous design across generations, and thankfully, the Taycan does not step away from its formula despite being a whole new direction for Porsche. It sports curvy lines, but mind you, this is not a tiny two-door coupe, it's a four-door sports sedan and the dimensions are quite generous. I like the headlamp design, which also reminds me of the 918's headlamps, especially when viewing the car head-on. The air vents below the lights make for a very distinctive look, while the front bumper is devoid of any sharp creases. In fact, the Taycan is the most aerodynamic Porsche yet, with a drag coefficient of just 0.22, which is also among the lowest in the world. The Taycan looks even more beautiful from the sides with its long and low-slung profile, the swooping roofline, and also the 20-inch wheels. The front fender is where the charging port sits and has a very unique touch function to open it. The rear end reminds of the 911 even more with the car's width, the distinctive tail lamp design, and of course, the pop-up spoiler that comes up on the go. On the whole, I'm really glad Porsche has retained its classic design cues all around. The interiors are snug as you would expect of a Porsche, and if you thought the Taycan's interiors will offer a vibe similar to the Panameras in terms of luxury and space, you will be in for a bit of a surprise, because this cabin feels closer to the 911 but with more screens than ever before. It begins with the large, curved glass panel that the instrument cluster displays, integrating the clocks in the classic Porsche style. The instrument cluster displays also a touchscreen and features touch controls at both ends for various functions. The center console is dominated by two touchscreens, one for the infotainment system and the other for climate control, and also a touchpad for controlling the main infotainment screen. There's a fourth screen as well on the left side of the dashboard, which lets the front passenger access the infotainment system or view information on the go. The tight dimensions inside also clearly suggest that Porsche is positioning the Taycan as more of a sports car than sports sedan. And this also means that space at the rear is at a premium, though it all feels very luxurious. And one of my personal favorite bits inside has to be the glass roof that not only looks brilliant, but also ensures the cabin stays cool even on a really hot day. This, like I mentioned, is just the Taycan that uses a single motor, sending 326 PS to the rear wheels only. But engage launch control and you have as much as 408 PS, and acceleration is really quick. Throttle responses are very smooth and progressive, similar to the feel offered by petrol engines. There's a slight sense of familiarity to the power delivery thus, and somewhere it all reminds me of the responsiveness of the 911. Switching from normal to sport or sport plus mode makes for quicker responses all around, adding to the electric powertrain's likable feel. It took me a few minutes to get used to the sensations when you lift off the throttle, since there is no engine or engine braking for the matter, but getting used to an electric powertrain in a sports car is certainly interesting. The Taycan uses a 2-speed gearbox, though it's hard to notice the transmission shift up unless you're in sport mode. And as I stepped on the, gas pedal, the car accelerated quickly, but the thrust is only mild and I was expecting more. That said, the claimed 0 to 100 kmph time for the Taycan is 5.4 seconds only, which sounds impressive given the car's weight of about 2 tons. Coming to the all-important bit about range and charging, the Taycan boasts a range of about 350 km per charge. But more importantly, I must mention that its battery management system is very energy efficient and ensures the battery pack is also charging quickly via regeneration when driving. When I got behind the wheel at the start of the day, with a full charge, the indicated range was about 350 km, but even after a full day of shooting, including several hours of driving, the car still had close to 50% charge left, which is very impressive. So even if you drive about 100 kilometers every day, you'll only need to recharge the batteries just a couple of times a week. And the Taycan's battery pack can be recharged via a regular 11 kilowatt charger in about 9 hours, while a 50 kilowatt DC charger will let you charge the batteries up to 80% in just an hour and a half. There's a host of tech on board, and the Taycan in fact is one of the most tech-laden EVs that money can buy you today. But more importantly, this is a Porsche and it has a few tricks up its sleeves, like the Porsche electric sport sound that makes the car sound like you're driving a spaceship. The sound adds some feel to the driving experience, and well, like it or hate it, electric powertrains are here to replace our beloved internal combustion engines, and in Porsche's case, it's iconic 6-cylinder engines, but the German sports car has ensured the Taycan sounds good even if nothing like its flat 6 engine. There's lots of electronics inside the cabin as well, and in fact, you can only adjust the direction of air from the air conditioning vents via the touchscreen and not directly, which I found a little surprising and also slightly challenging to use on the go. There's a host of convenience features on board as well, like the chassis level lift, which lets you increase the car's ride height to go over those nasty speed breakers, and this is certainly a boon. I really like the seating position as it feels exactly like what you would want in a sports car from Porsche. As you sit low, the steering wheel is positioned perfectly. And well, finding that sporty and sweet seating position is very easy. Now this is a Porsche, and when it comes to the dynamics, just the name is enough. And the Taycan really impresses with its sporty handling, and in that sense does full justice to the name on its hood. The Taycan rides on adaptive air suspension, and the handling is perfectly in line with what you would expect of a sports car despite the car's weight. It feels well balanced, and the firmed up feel from the suspension in sport mode also adds to the car's impressive handling. Every time I used launch control and accelerated hard, the rear end was squatting slightly, making me smile behind the wheel. Now Porsche is known to make some of the world's best handling sports cars, and the Taycan is no exception, as it offers precise feedback from its steering while feeling calm and composed even when thrown into corners aggressively. In fact, I strongly feel the Taycan is one of the best handling electric cars you can buy, because this is a Porsche and the German car maker really does know how to make enthusiasts smile from behind the wheel. I also like the Taycan steering for how communicative it is, and it also weighs up as you go faster, offering more confidence at higher speeds. But the real surprise here is how good the ride quality is despite all that sportiness, as the Taycan soaks up a lot of the bumps and potholes, cushioning you well despite the firmness all around. I have been sitting on the fence when it comes to electric vehicles, because somewhere my heart does not want to let go of those high revving petrol engines, especially the turbocharged ones. But the Porsche Taycan here, it's really making me like the idea of electrification. It handles like a Porsche, of course drives like one. And well, if the regular Taycan, just the Taycan, is so much fun, I can only imagine how much more fun its turbo version would be. Prices begin from Rs 1.5 crore ex-showroom for the base spec, which, if you ask me, is excellent value for everything that this car offers, especially the badge on its hood.